Number 29. During a scouting exercise, Andrews leaves camp and hikes 2 miles northwest. He then turns and hikes 3 miles due north. Felicia leaves camp and plans to hike on a direct path to Andrew's new position. What are the direction and distance Felicia should hike? So this is going to be a vectors problem because we're going to represent two different distances with the magnitude and direction that someone has hiked. So the first thing that we're told is that Andrews leaves camp and hikes 2 miles northwest. Now, northwest is going to be split straight in between north and the west. So let me just write this up here. We have north, east, south, and west. So northwest is in between, and we've learned that this is 2 miles. He then turns and hikes 3 miles due north. So make a new vector. It's going to be a little bit longer. I'll keep it red since it's the same person, and it goes 3 miles due north. And to make it appropriate, probably need to draw it into the words there to make it just a little bit more to scale. So we now have this idea. It says Felicia leaves camp and plans to hike on a direct path to Andrew's new position, which Andrews is here. So what type of path would she need to walk on? So her direction, as we can see very clearly, is she's going to walk on this path there. So what are the direction and distance Felicia should hike? Now, all these values here, what they've done is they no longer said northwest or anything like that. They're saying these values. These are going to come from the x-axis. When they don't say north, east, or anything like that on the side, we're going to assume it's going from here, which means I can automatically eliminate two values right from the get-go. I know it's not going to be 287, so B is out and C is also out. Now I just need to figure out which one of these is correct in the distance. Now here, this is a vectors problem, so let's see how we would do this. The first thing is you're going to need to represent each vector in bracket type notation. So remember, we can write these as x comma y, or in polar form, we could say it's h comma theta. We could do it either way. So since this piece is diagonal, I'm going to use h and theta. This looks more like a hypotenuse. So this one here, I'll represent this one first. We have a hypotenuse of 2, and the angle, this would be coming from, for the calculator, you always got to go from the x-axis from here to there. Well, we know this is split between the north and the west. West is congruent to 180 degrees north would be like 90 degrees, and this would be like 0 degrees, which means directly in between 90 and 180 is 135 degrees. That's adding 45 to it. So I would put here angle 135 degrees in the calculator like that. That represents this first vector. All right, now the next vector, I'm not going to represent using polar type of form. I want to use rectangular because this is like a y value, which means it has no x. It's not moving left or right, but it's going directly north 3 units. So you could type this in as 3 comma 90 degrees, but I'll just do it as 0, 3 like this. Now if I add those in the calculator, it should give me the answer and as an x and y value. So let's hit control bracket 2 comma 2, there we go. And then I press control book to get the angle. I'm going to put in 135 degrees here. And now I'm going to add this to the vector 0 comma 3, which meant it did not move left or right, but it did move 3 units up. And when I hit enter, it's going to give me that value as an x and y. This means she needs to go left 1.4 miles and forward, or north rather, 4.4 miles. But to get it as a hypotenuse, what we do is we convert it to polar. So you go menu, you choose vectors, which is 7, matrix and vectors. You go down to the bottom and choose vectors again, so menu, vector, vector, and then convert to polar. When I do this, it'll give me, here's my hypotenuse, 4.6. My angle is 107.8 degrees, which we find is right here. And it looks like there might be a small rounding error on their part, that they do not list this exactly right, but that is how you would find this value.